the lag going between Mr. Fingers and Mr. Bruner. And Chris is going to win this lag by a good margin. This is alternate break format. And it's alternate break format, and we have we're at Diamond Billiard Room on US 60 in Midlothian, Virginia. I've been coming here 8 years. This is a great room, tremendous food. Who's this guy next to me? What do they call you? Not late for dinner?
They rarely call me late for dinner. This is Andrew Manning, everybody.
Yeah.
Ready for this match. I believe you'd have to call Chris Bruner the favorite, but Mr. Mikey Fingers Bad Stubner is not to be counted out in any pool match.
Oh no.
He was telling me he placed top 3 in the U.S. Straight Pool Championships a few years back.
Uh-huh.
So that takes some strong stuff.
Here we go. Bruner breaks the balls. This boy has all the shots. In the last year or two, he's started to mature. You know, where he'd get upset easy and easy to rattle him and get him off his game. Not so much anymore. He's won several Action Tour events and also has had lots of high placings. He's considered either a semi-pro or a pro now. And the Action Pool Tour, you know, setting aside the state tournament where everybody is paying an equal entry fee, the Action Pool Tour has 5 different levels of players, and there's no handicaps in it. The only thing that's different is the entry fees are staggered in order. That ball might have turned a little bit more than he might have liked.
Yeah, the old unmissable combo, but where's the second ball going? Or the first ball, I suppose.
And his 610 is
610's sitting pretty, but not if you don't get behind the 6.
he can play the carom on it. Look out, 7.
Oh, yeah.
I got it.
All from getting thin on the 4 there.
He actually can make this ball maybe coming off the inside of the rail, kicking the 6, and he's going to jump because this boy is a lethal jump shooter, Andrew. He's a lethal jump shooter. He even from short distance like this, he has nice size hands. And he can get a very, very good trajectory on the butt end of his jump cue. And
he's always had plenty of stroke power, which certainly helps with the jump shot.
Are you from around here or Northern Virginia?
Northern Virginia.
Right. That's what I thought. It makes it on the billiard. 1-0 in favor of Chris Bruner. This is an alternate break, race to 8 format on the winner's side. And in the men's event, we drew over 64 players on the men's tournament. You actually kicked me off, and that's you.
I think you're wearing headset too.
Am I?
At the moment.
I certainly am. That's okay. Then I stand corrected.
I'll switch with you if you want, though.
Oh no, that's good. It's all good. This is real easy. So Mr. Fingers is at the table, and we're here at this lovely diamond billiard room with just some true enthusiasts of the game of pool. Nice break from Mr. Fingers.
Sinks the money ball. Not that it counts in this format.
He's got all the balls here in the down the girth of the table in the center on this layout. He's got 7 of the 10 balls are in the inside the first 2 diamonds along the short rails. It's
If he can see the thin edge of this one, I think he'll play the safe. Otherwise, he'll probably push out.
yeah.
I can't really tell.
Now that's where we fall short here. We can't see what the player sees. I think he's
lining up a shot, so I'm sure he can see it. Or maybe he's just trying to figure that out.
Maybe there's a little yellow paint for him there to just put a little garlic breath on it, and
garlic breath is all it needs to get behind the 3 and trickle the cue ball to the end rail behind the 10 and the 2. No, he could see quite a bit of it, apparently.
but he actually sold out.
Enough to sell it out. Yeah.
But with this shot for sure, Chris has got to split the deuce, and lots of variables will happen from here. The 2 ball, he might end up playing the 2 down in the lower corner pocket if he splits them. This cue ball keeps going
Looks
forward.
to me like he could easily tie the 2 and 10 up on this shot. But not if he draws it like that. All right.
All right. Well, see, like I said, I can't see what the player sees. I can give you my best guesstimate. I'm George Hammerbacher, the 8th year I've been in the booth here. This is where I started 8 years ago with I came here. I was going to get operated on with a hip replacement the next week, and a friend of mine brought me down, and after all that, I've been coming back ever since.
I think Chris may have been playing for the bank here.
Excuse me. He's on the 50-yard line.
I think he's only got banks and safeties. I don't think he's got a pocket he can cut this into from here.
No.
Safe it is. He lets it leak out.
That was.
I think Mike's got a shot straight into the corner here.
He does, and when he decides to play some right English to play to the 4 ball, he can hook Chris if he misses behind the 8, 9, and 4. If he gets it close to the pocket, we'll see what he does. Oh, he catches a point. He's okay. I think he's got a shot.
I can't tell. It's close. He's crouching down to table level to look at it, so I know it's close.
This is, you see where he is. He can get the draw on this ball.
It looks like he's lining up with center.
No.
Yeah, he used a little center left and was unable to come up with an accurate strike on that ball. Meanwhile, here's an unattractive angle into the side pocket, not really offering position on the 5.
Well, how I see it is if he cinches this ball and rolls forward, he has a good bank on the 5 and natural 2-rail shape to the 6.
Yeah, selling for that bank is probably the smart money.
That's what he was doing.
But from that angle, that's a small pocket opening.
Hit it poorly. There's all sorts of different options here. This is good. We got what a great field we have down here this weekend. Over 80 players, men and women, are competing here from about 6 different states. Now, oh,
Don't think he hooked him.
now Chris called the bank.
Yep.
Second round match I heard called.
Well, Chris's turn to sell out a little bit on that bank.
He was high percentage on that bank, like at least a good player with the free throw in the NBA or something. That's ideal looking.
Mm-hmm.
Except that the 8-9, he's going to have to play a touch shot to go in between the 8-9, or
He might go all the way to the rail next to the other side pocket. No, he didn't.
he didn't
just
get there.
Got right behind that 8.
All right. Well, we got all kinds of people in here. We got professional perspirers. We should get the deodorant sticks out. I hear muttering, I hear sputtering, and I hear fluttering. Can't leave a boy like this too many chances. He's
Chris is going to draw his ball about 2 feet to where he pointed with his cue.
he's always had the ability.
Oh, he's going to follow it 1 rail to that spot instead. Always good when you can afford it. Follow is always a lot easier to control the speed of than draw. He's come up a little bit wrong-sided on the 9. He's got to go 1 rail. With high inside, comes up like roses.
From the pike position, the degree of difficulty,
Split the wicket.
2 games to nothing in favor of Mr. Bruner. His mom even played in this, is playing on the ladies' side.
Oh, yeah?
His mom, yeah. Chris is representing Greg's Not So Pro Shop down there in the Virginia Beach area. Greg Sabins, a longtime Action Pool Tour member, repairs cues and does some things down there.
And congratulations to Greg Sabins, who actually just got engaged yesterday, as I heard.
Oh, well, Valentine's Day, that's tasty.
Indeed.
Oh.
Mike got safe, but that didn't look like an intentional safety.
No.
He seems a little out of sorts right now. He might need to take a moment to settle himself at his next opportunity.
See, those are some of the things with tournament play like this, where we have only around 14, 15 tables, and we have 80 players, and you might not get to shoot for about 3 hours. You might have been hitting them great in warm-ups, and then here it is, 4 in the afternoon, and now you're just getting to the table to start your tournament. and drawing a formidable opponent like Mr. Bruner is
Well, he looked like he put a good stroke on that ball, but that's certainly not where he envisioned his cue ball ending up. We might see his jump game make an appearance at this point.
now he's going to try to kick, send him up table, and get him behind the 7, I think.
Be a
But
very good shot.
see if that's true. Well, he hit the 7. He's going to get him behind the 6.
Yes, he is. And how?
Amish Avenger is in trouble.
Man, Matt Kravitz is here. We spent lots of hours together on the mics in years gone by. And Mike's very, very accomplished player in his own right. I don't know how much he's been playing these days.
Oh, what a good kick save.
There's good news and bad
That was
news.
beautifully controlled.
The thin ball is going behind the 9 off the second into the third rail. Thin ball, lots of left. Put the electric eye left English on it, the garlic breath,
Try to
And
cut it thin enough that the 2 doesn't really leave the rail.
and the cue ball back behind the 6-9. Unless he's going to try to kick it with kick and stick.
Seems low on the cue ball.
Oh, he did garlic the ball, but
yeah.
put that little.
He left the cross-side bank, but I can't see Chris playing it and getting on the 3.
Nah, I see him going up behind the 4 ball or the 10.
Or right in between them. I think he actually
Might
left
have
that
sold
available.
out. He
Yep.
might have sold out, or at least sold out to an easy jump.
I like to try to, not that I'm any better at that shot than Chris Bruner certainly, but I like to try to cut that ball enough that I leave the 2 ball in the middle of the end rail so that if my cue ball doesn't get where I want it to be, at least he's got a 2 ball in the middle of the end rail and not hanging in a pocket. But I guess this isn't the sellout that we thought it was, because Mike's screwing together a jump cue. I suppose he has to clear the 3.
Yeah, they put an extra coat or 2 of red paint on it, maybe, and it's sort of in his way. Kind of awkward because he's can't get up on the rail on this ball.
He didn't have to clear much of the 3. But it was enough to certainly make the 2 missable.
Chris might be playing this ball come off the point with a little high right English and back to the 3 in the clear corner past the 10 where he's looking. Caught that point a little dead.
A little bit. Didn't get over there.
How you doing?
He might play the 3-4 combo.
I might have to disagree, but
Well,
there there's because the 6 ball is in kind of a funky place there along that rail. Can't see if it goes in the side pocket. If there's any way to connect the dots here.
He did not play the combo. Played safe. Might have been trying to marry up to the 6 there. Got him behind the 9 anyway.
He was fortunate, but Mike is fortunate to be at the table in any event. Boy, we got people everywhere in here today. This is great. He called safety. Might thin the ball, try to come all the way back up table.
Oh, you could see the edge.
Nah, he hit the 4 flush and
He's a little heavy on the speed there. Knocked the 4 out of his way.
sold out at least the hit. The cut's available.
Cut in the pocket by the 8.
No, into the clear pocket. In other words, to this pocket there, not the back cut.
I thought it looked like the 9 ball might be blocking the path to that part of the 3. No, he played the back cut and played it very well. Look at that.
That was tender.
That's beautiful. That's a tough shot. He played it with delicate speed to hold for the 4.
See what the 6 ball's all about. That's the ball that I'm scratching my head on.
Did he get straight in on the 5? Because if so, his options for the 6 get much more limited.
I heard a deep breath.
It looks like he's pretty close to straight. Not sure if it's dead straight.
You see, the trouble with this shot is if he plays the outside of the hole, which he has to, at kiboshes his left English. In other words, it makes it even harder for him to get to the other side of the 7 to bank it. That's the trouble I could see, but again, I don't see what Chris is looking at. I can't be sure.
He doesn't even have the cross side bank in order to get position because the 7 is blocking it, I think.
Well, he could roll it and hit the 7 and clear it.
He tried to draw it 3 rails to get to the short side of the 6.
And he gets mock, scourged, and spat upon.
Quite.
He's on goggle right now, headed up the hill towards the cross.
Now, does he have any air between the edge of the cue ball and the 7? Because his available kicking angles get a lot better if there's just a 1/4 inch gap there than if the balls are frozen.
Now he's got a 2 to 3 railer at this ball. 3 railer as he comes behind it and hits it and sticks there.
I can't tell if he was lining up
to make it in the side.
Where he had his cue there looked like a 1 railer.
Yeah.
The 2 railer would have to come from not from the center of the end rail, but over closer to that corner pocket he'd be kicking out of.
Yeah, I like him going to the first diamond. But again, it's his shot. It's not mine.
What do you think, Matt? What's the shot here?
Ooh. 2 rails, call towards the side. Maybe you get safe if you happen to come a little bit.
He can come behind it and kick and stick. He might be hitting it with some pace anyway. He ain't gonna be hitting it easy.
I think the 9 takes away
he's
part of
calling
the,
the one rail. He's
part of the path of the 2 rails.
play lots of left English.
Oh, wow, he's 1 rail on the spin.
Yeah.
2 rail.
Trouble with that is it's an even money or better sellout percentage. What? Hiya, hiya, hiya. Boy, oh boy.
I think
Damn.
Mike should probably stick to pool. His cue juggling leaves something to be desired.
It's a backseat blues.
So that's why we switched to carbon fiber.
Right.
Wood is too lively.
It was a backseat blues. It went off in his hand. Oh, that's right. With it, this is a PG broadcast. Never mind. Now get your line of sight. Come on over and that's right. Make sure where you're playing the 9 from is going to give you the angle down table.
A stop shot's no good. He wants to follow forward 1 ball with.
Let's like
And
that.
he does.
Nice call, Andrew.
Yep.
And all he has to do is stay breathing, and he'll be on the board. Oh no, another practice stroke. I knew he missed the ball. Second, I saw a second practice stroke.
He didn't aim it before getting down in his stance.
No,
he
he
knew he
didn't.
was out of line, but he didn't get all the way back up and restart.
We've been sitting for 4 hours, so what's another 5 seconds?
Yeah.
But when you're
agree.
playing, that's different story. It's too bad because that shots like that are what cause you to lose matches.
Speed control can get away from you a little bit on this shot.
He looks like he's hitting this pretty head on.
He's
Doesn't look
going
like
3 rails.
he hit it good enough.
Yep. But that shot he ended up with on the 10 gets so much harder if that cue ball rolls the extra foot to the rail above the side pocket and you're shooting it right off the rail. Suddenly some nerves can creep into that one. But you get your hand on the bed of the table like he did. And
Thanks a
it's a lot more
million.
comfortable.
The Full Stroke Billiard Apparel, and they're offering an exclusive 10% off to everyone that's watching this live stream match on the Virginia State 10-ball championships at Diamond Billiards. Simply enter 10% off during checkout at www.fullstrokebilliards.com.
We are grateful to all our sponsors here at the Action Pool Tour.
We got the Killer Driller as another main sponsor. Oh, he gets kicked into the corner pocket with.
It's a tough roll.
Well, his cue ball was down low. He sliced it. He sliced the 1 ball, and his cue ball was errant. Very
Meanwhile,
errant.
the 2 is tied up. Chris is trying to line up where he can get on it and have a shot he likes. But the answer could be nowhere. That move isn't legal, actually, that one he just did for a moment there. It looked like he was measuring the space between the 6 and the rail with the cue ball.
Uh-huh.
You aren't allowed to use another ball to measure whether a ball will pass. didn't. He
That-
sort of stopped his movement, so I wouldn't call a foul on it. But
That's a real good shot. He wants to get Mr. Fingers on two chuckles right away. He scratched on the break, and now he's got that one ball down there in a very, very good position. He might be able to hit this ball. What are you
it looks
kidding?
like he's cueing straight towards it.
Yeah. Quoth the Jorge, never mind.
And a good hit it is.
With ball in hand, you're not ever supposed to let the guy have a hit on the ball.
Yep.
That was just about as bad as dogging and out, really, mistake-wise.
Yeah, this one, he just showed you where he's going to put the one ball with his tip on a fairly thin hit, go 2 rails to the top rail, perhaps behind the 10. Oh, but he overcut it and left it in the pocket.
And the cue ball
And
on the
left a
rail.
shot at it.
Well, here's a shot where you got to spin it to win it. Got to twist it. You can't fist it.
Do you think he needs to go into the 2 or into the 4?
He's just going to try to just make a ball get.
Oh, he hit them both. Did not get much of a reward.
Well, it was a real dicey opportunity, but
He's
he had to
reaching for
try
his
to
jump
try to
cue.
let his stroke out because he's been sitting and he needs to get himself loose again.
Mike's got something you don't see every day. He's got a jump cue with spliced points in the butt. So I guess he's fancy,
Look at this.
Oh.
He belly's on the 7.
and he won't be jumping this one.
No. He has a 2-railer coming out of the corner to hit it.
Mm-hmm. And
The
Alex-
cry of love, I hear it. The shriek of the mutilated.
I expect he'll hit it, but getting safe is not obvious.
Who did you play first, Andrew?
I played Larry Crissell.
Oh,
Did not come out on top of that one.
2 rails with the lots of right English. Got to spin it towards the point. No, I had to spin it towards the point.
Yeah, he didn't hit it.
It was outside the point. He had to go right at the point and almost had to elevate to get the ball to, because the ball, when it hits that second rail, you see how it's going to come out on a slant and it's going to skip.
Mm-hmm.
And that was why he didn't hit it. The ball skipped on him. But Chris is going to skip to the loom, my darling, from here with this rack. He's got all tap ins.
Is he reaching for an extension on this shot, or just cleaning off his cue for a minute?
Usually you call the governor for extensions, you know.
A stay of execution. I think that's
Yeah,
what
this
Mike's
is-
hoping for at this point.
Yeah, the stay of executions, and whether or not the warden's taking phone calls.
Chris left himself a nice angle to come back across where he doesn't have to mess with the 10 ball.
That's correct. Looking sharp.
I think this one might be 2 rails back and forth. Come back to where the cue ball is now, and then... Oh, it wasn't, though. He had the confidence to go between the 9 and the rail. It's a good shot. You can just pull this back a ball width or 2. Perfect.
Correct. Now he just He just roll it in and get parallel with the 9.
Yeah, he needed to draw it a little bit so that he didn't have to shoot the 9 from so far. But he got kind of straight. I don't think
He got in between.
he may have to draw to the short side of the 10. Or just stop there more or less and play it in the corner. It's a smarter play.
He went to the settlement.
Don't play position if you already have it.
4-0 for Mr. Bruner. Mike's not getting the best of the rolls, but then on the other hand, he had a couple chances. So
Chris started this match with a break and run. Let's see if he can duplicate the effort now. Hits the break plenty hard.
he has a golden opportunity. The deuce is in. Shape from the 1 to the 3 in the side. The 4 is in. The 3 in the side gets him falling right on the 5. It looks like a...
The natural path from the 1 to the 3 goes right behind the 9. So he's going to want to manipulate this a bit.
Well, he hits a 9 a little bit.
Yeah, he used the outside English to make sure he didn't go behind the 9, but then kissing it put him further up table than he wanted to be.
Maybe the 5 passes the 8.
I think it does. Yeah, he played for it.
If that's the case, he's good as gold. He falls right on the 6 in the side. It just...
Yeah, all he has to do is make the 6 with the 7 hanging in the pocket. He doesn't want
might
to shoot
jack
straight
him up
over
a
the
little
top
bit.
of the 9. I said all he has to do is make the 6, but when you're shooting straight over the top of a ball, that itself can be a tall order.
A lot of the young 9 ballers aren't as good as shooting over balls because straight pool is a game where you get to shoot over balls a lot, and that they're always costly if you miss them. In other words, you break the balls and and end up in the stack where you got to shoot over top of a row of balls and make one up table so you can run the rest of the rack out.
I'm pretty surprised Chris drew his ball all the way back to the top of the table for that.
He's got
shot on the 7.
He's got all the shots. There are lots of good players here though this weekend. This is
You can go one rail to where the cue ball is now for the 9 with the top and a little bit inside.
that's what he did. That's as good as it gets right there.
Yeah, he's got this nice angle to go 1 or 2 rails.
He'll just draw it straight back.
Well, I don't think he's... Is he straight enough for that? Yeah, he went...
He played the stun.
Yep, that's what I expected.
All right.
And there it is.
Five nothing in favor of Bruner.
Break and run he did. Mike would certainly like to answer, but it's going to take a better break than we've seen from him so far this match.
Dr. Sharkenstein, I presume. Sort of a wry comment off a set that's gone awry. Boy, no balls going in. He hit them good.
Yeah, he's great on the 1-2. He would have loved for anything to go in any pocket there.
Instead, even his momentum is
Chris was a little bit flat on the 1 with an uncheatable pocket thanks to the 3. Had to settle for this on the 2. And the settle continues, leaving himself as far away from the 3 as you can get on a 9-foot table.
oh,
Banks at home.
and
3
gets
rails, I believe it was.
perfect on the 4. Oh, except he's going to have to get very, very athletic from here. He's going to have to show some athleticism.
Athleticism, you say?
Yeah, he's tree-topped, and he's going to have to come up with the...
I think this is just a speed control shot to go 1 rail. Come up a little shorter than what he wanted.
If it's frozen, it's a hanger.
I can tell he's got a cut on it. I can't tell if it's frozen. We might see him go four rails back and forth for a shot on the 6 here.
He might be looking, if that ball is frozen, he can play the sweep pit with the low right and fade off and go 2 rails and fall straight in on the 6. Maybe go a little past it.
I kind of like center ball twice back and forth across the table on this one.
Very good.
Played it very well. He is straight in on this 6. I can't tell if he's got any pocket for the 7 in the side or if he's got to play it past there into the corner.
Well, he shot and stopped it right on the mark.
Yeah, he's on it either way. Side it was. Leaves enough angle to go 2 rails toward the 9. Wants this to bounce off a little bit so he's not stuck to the rail for the 10. It does perfectly.
He'd like to start
Long
every
as he
game
doesn't-
from here.
As long as he doesn't miss that 9, it's going to be a tap-in 10. Chris finds himself up 6-0 and breaking. Is it too late to place a side bet?
Whoa, we got Richard Pendragon here.
Who's that?
Richard the Lion-Hearted.
Aha. Yeah, my bravery when it comes to gambling is legendary.
Well,
I've been known to lay odds that water is in fact wet, given the right price.
If it's something that only happens on phones but not computers so much.
is ice wet?
But anyway,
Quite a question.
That's only Yeah, because they're both the same thing
I
in
suppose.
different states.
I'd call it not wet.
Is
Although also ice isn't slippery. That's an interesting fact. A lot of people
Yeah.
think it is,
Hey,
but it's the tiny microscopic layer of water that forms when you push on it that is slippery.
Andrew, it sounds like you have some education.
I do, I suppose. An engineering degree from the University of Virginia.
Uh-huh.
It's not a charm school, as they say in Silence of the Lambs. I'm sure I could say more snobby things about it and contribute to its reputation.
Well, it's a fine institution of higher learning. And is this a push into the keyhole? It's a push into the keyhole, I think. I think Mike's going to swing at this ball. We're losing 6-0. He has to make something happen. Otherwise, his head will be in the basket.
I don't think he can go forward 2 rails off it, though. I think that corner pocket is too big in the way. I think he might have to try a low inside. You don't want a low inside shooting out of the far corner pocket.
No.
Yeah, I don't know what the shot is, though. This is a pretty good push out.
If he can hit the one flush, is to bank it up table and hide behind the 8.
Yeah.
If he can hit it flush. And you see, coming out of that pocket, he might be able to hit it low and hard and stop it on that angle. But again, I can't see what exactly his angle is, Andrew. It's hard for me to... He's calling a corner pocket. He's going to go down gambling.
I think this might be the low inside route, going around 3 rails.
That was a well-hit ball. He unfortunately got down too deep and doubled that rail.
Caught the jaws of the pocket.
Right, and caused him to double the rail. Sometimes you're just unfortunate.
Well, he can bank the 2 in between the 4 and the rail and freeze to the 4. No, he didn't freeze to it. It did hook him. I think he might have left Chris a 1-rail opportunity. Certainly left him a 2-railer. But I never like shooting kick shots where I'm shooting into a rail that I'm only an inch from.
He's going to jump.
He's gonna jump.
Actually, jump kick. Or he's going to jump and try to hit it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's playing, though. It's just a safe.
Safe.
Okay. Well, certainly a good hit.
I think we're going to be here a long time tonight, Andrew.
Yeah, I'd say so. Tournament may go pretty late.
Into tomorrow.
Mike just gestured as if he got an unlucky roll here, but it doesn't look to me like Chris can hit this ball without kicking it. I wonder if that was an apologetic gesture for a lucky save. I don't even know. But Chris is going to jump the 8. Bounce bounce twice off the end rail. Come around the world and get safe. Wow. It's a brutal game.
The backdoor kick behind the 7 with the cue ball.
That's a good shot. You hit the 2 half ball, the 7 gets enormous.
Mike's just trying to win a game and just get, the stranglehold he's been in here.
Uh-huh. Wonder if it's possible that the 10 actually blocks the angle for that kick you called. I don't think it does. I think the angle's there.
Called safe.
Mm-hmm. And he is kicking. No, he's going to hit the 2 directly. Oh, he could hit it directly.
But sell out even more directly.
Yes.
Couldn't have sold it. Well, if the 4 ball's on the rail, it isn't great. But
It's not on the rail, but it also isn't sitting where he wants to try to get on it in the side, I don't think. I think
get
he
on
might,
it on the bank.
He might follow one rail toward the vicinity of the 9 ball to shoot a finish for.
He'll,
Or he's sizing up an elevated shot to hold for the side pocket, I suppose. But I would not like to shoot this 2 ball elevated. I would much rather find a shot where I can follow my cue ball. However, Chris Bruner
you
is
got
not
that
me.
shot. You overpowered that ball. Overpowered it. When you overpower him, you know. Excuse me.
Chris cleans up after negotiating his way to the 4 ball there. Hitting it the way he did, he at least made sure all the difficulty of the run out was on the first shot. Something to be said for that. Shooting the tough shot if it's going to solve the run. And 7-0. Mr. Bad Stubner would desperately like to avoid ending with 0 points on this scoreline.
Still another Mojave mash with the 10 hanging over the hole. The Mojave mash. It was dry.
Drier than I struggle to come up with a family-friendly metaphor.
Or it was a Sahara swat.
Oh, nice. He found the gap there. The traffic from the 1 to the 2 seems like it might have been, well, I don't know. That 4 is fairly well guarded by the 5 as well. Doesn't go in the side, so
He can draw it up to the corner right where he's got, and the shoot and stop and play the 5-10 and take the short way home.
Yeah, whether he ends up with the angle to get on the 5-10 or just on the 5 clear into a pocket, either way, you have to guess that Mike's not coming back to the table.
I might have to come with my litany in a minute.
Chris doesn't like where he got on this 4-ball, though. He didn't draw back far enough, and he's
going to play to hit the 5.
Yeah, he is. Jack up and bump the 5 toward a 5-10 combo.
Missed it.
He did. It's a game of inches. 2 inches further back on that 4-ball, he would have had the angle to just roll forward for the 5 in the side, and he never would have missed that ball in a million years. But having to try to jack up and do something tricky to bump the 5 towards the 5-10 combo made that shot missable.
No matter what happens from here, this is where Mike has to at least win 1, 2, 3 games and at least give himself some momentum for the loser's side.
Right.
But I'll tell you,
At least feel like he's in stroke for his next match.
I know, Matt, you might have been in the booth with me when Wilkie was up 8-0 at VIP over Jimmy Various, and Jimmy came back and beat him playing with the magic rack.
Yes, it broke his heart, I'm sure, Wilkie's.
He uttered the cry of love. It was not even the shriek of the mutilated. It was.
Jimmy's a great player. He likes to fly under the radar, but I got some history with him. And
Well, Jimmy. Well, they're high cal and they have low nutrition.
Mike's from New York. I think that's supposed to be a bagel. Anyway, that was fun, Mr. Hammerbacher. I'm going to go take a break real quick.
I won't stop you. We'll be back in a few minutes on the Action Pool Tour. And whoever my next guest star is, we'll find out. The Action Pool Tour, we're at the Midlothian Turnpike at the Diamond Billiard Room. We'll be back in a few minutes with the next live stream match.